Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare So we were discussing about the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita last week, and we had discussed about 10 verses last week. So we will begin with the 11th verse today. So 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is called Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. So, in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, I'll just give a recap of what we discussed in the last week so that you all know what was discussed. So, 12th chapter begins with the question of Arjuna. Arjuna asks Krishna, who is considered to be more perfect? Those who meditate on your personal form or those who meditate on your impersonal form? Sakara or Nirakara? Which worship is better? That was Arjuna's question. And Krishna replied that those who worship my personal form are considered to be more perfect. That is my opinion. So it's a direct question, direct answer Krishna gives. First shloka, Arjuna is asking the question. Second shloka of this chapter, Krishna is giving the reply. But then after that he says, those who meditate on my impersonal form also attain me only. But it is a very lengthy process. It's very difficult to focus one's mind on the impersonal form, Nirakara. So, that means what we understand, to focus on the form of Krishna is very easy and it is recommended process. Even according to the Patanjali yoga system, one should not meditate on something void. One should actually meditate on the personal form of Lord Vishnu. That is very clearly mentioned in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So, the goal of meditation is to fix our mind on the spiritual form of Krishna. That is the purpose of meditation. Nowadays, there are many so-called yoga centers, yoga gurus, who claim to be practicing genuine yoga, but they do not refer to this process of meditating on the form of Lord Vishnu or Krishna at all. Vasudevam Param Yogam. Yoga means to meditate on Vasudeva, on Krishna. So when that is ignored, then one cannot actually attain success in yoga. Yoga actually means to connect with God. So without meditating on God, how can you actually connect with Him? Now a question may be raised, Oh, when we say God has a form, aren't we limiting him? But actually, even according to the Bhagavad Gita and all the Vedic scriptures, God's form is unlimited. Our form, our present particular body that we have got, it has got limitations. Time and space limit our body. That means if I am present in this room at this point of time, I cannot be present elsewhere at the same time. That is the limitation imposed by space upon my body. Because I have a material body, and material body has got limitations. We should not think that Krishna's body is also like our body. No. Krishna's body is Satchidananda Vigraha. Sat means eternal, Chit means full of knowledge, and Ananda means blissful. So Krishna's Vigraha or form is not material like our form. It is completely spiritual, Satchidananda. Therefore, by meditating on the spiritual form of Krishna, we can make spiritual advancement. So we should never mistake God's form to be material. God's form is never material. Even when God comes to this material world, He does not accept a material body like how we accept. We have accepted a material body currently. The soul is also Satchidananda. We are soul. We are Satchidananda because we are Amsha of God. We are part and parcel of God. But right now, we have accepted a material body because we have material desires. So, to fulfill the material desires, Krishna has given us an opportunity in this material world by giving us a material body. But we are not this material body. We are soul. That is the first lesson in the Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter. We are not the body, we are soul. Correct? So, for us, there is a difference between body and soul. But for Krishna, there is no difference between body and soul. That means his body itself is the soul. His body itself is spiritual. This we have to very nicely understand. Otherwise, we will think, why should we meditate on some material form? Oh, if Krishna's form is also material, then what is the use of meditating on that material form? No. Krishna's form is spiritual. Right? This we have to understand. So, Krishna is saying, if you meditate on my personal form, you will make quick progress in spiritual understanding, realization. Right? So, that is what Krishna had talked about in the first part we had discussed in the last week. And then Krishna also talked about how to practice Bhakti Yoga. Meditating on the personal form of God is called Bhakti Yoga. Right? The word Bhakti comes from the Sanskrit root word called Bhaja. Bhaja means to serve, service. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Part is meant to serve the whole. Just like this hand is part and parcel of the body, the hand is meant to serve the body. Like if there is food, the hand is supposed to take the food and put it in the mouth, and the food goes to the stomach, gets digested, and the energy is distributed throughout the body, and the hand also gets its quota of energy which is required for it to function. That means if the hand cooperates with the rest of the body, hand will also get its energy and nourishment. That is the meaning of part and parcel. So we are part and parcel of Krishna. It means that if we understand what is the purpose of Krishna, what is the instruction of Krishna, what is his desire, and according to that if we serve him, then we will also get happiness. We are all seeking happiness. But right now, we are seeking happiness independent of Krishna. We want to independently satisfy our senses. And that is the cause of all our problems. Because we are thinking that we are separate or independent of God. And we are trying to enjoy independently of Krishna. And that is actually causing miseries. So Bhakti Yoga means to realize that no, I am not separated from Krishna. I am not independent from Krishna. I have no existence separate from Krishna. All that I have to do is I have to understand what Krishna wants. And I should simply act to please Him according to His desire. If I please Krishna, and if Krishna is pleased, and because I am His part and parcel, automatically I will also get pleasure. That is enjoyment. So enjoyment is not denied in spiritual life. Independent enjoyment is said independent enjoyment is not correct. Independent enjoyment causes problems. So Bhakti Yoga means to understand what Krishna wants and to act for His seva, for His pleasure. For example, in Bhakti Yoga, we don't say that you cannot eat varieties of dishes. You can eat. You can eat varieties of tasty, different kinds of food items. But you prepare for Krishna. You prepare with love and devotion for Krishna and offer it to the deity of Krishna. The deity of Krishna, Vigraha of Krishna, is not different from Krishna. So you offer the food to deity, then Krishna accepts it. Just by glancing on it, He accepts. And then that food becomes spiritualized. It's called prasadam. And then you can enjoy that. So primary enjoyer is Krishna and I am secondary enjoyer. This is called Bhakti Yoga. So you can enjoy, but the goal is to please Krishna. Krishna should enjoy first. Then after he enjoys, I will enjoy the remnants that is left behind. This is Bhakti Yoga. So in all aspects of our life, if we can think like this and act in this way, I am secondary, subordinate enjoyer. The primary enjoyer is Krishna. So let me work for Krishna's enjoyment. If this is the consciousness, this consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. And this process is called Bhakti Yoga. So we have to practice this Bhakti Yoga. Right? So now from verse 9 onwards, verse 8 onwards, Krishna talks about different levels of practicing Bhakti Yoga. See, different souls, different people are at different levels of consciousness. Therefore, different levels of practice of Bhakti Yoga are explained by Krishna. Krishna is not saying you either fully surrender to me or you are lost. He's not saying that way. He accommodates everybody. So let us try to understand what are the different levels of practicing Bhakti Yoga. From text 8 onwards, we will again discuss. First, we will chant the verses. You can repeat the verses and then we shall discuss. Text 8. Mayyeva mana adhatsva Mayi buddhim niveshaya Nivasishyasi mayyeva Ata urdhvanna samshayaha. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. So, this is the highest level of bhakti. always think about Krishna. Right? He's saying, fix your mind upon me. Engage all your intelligence in me. Right? So fixing your mind on Krishna means what? Always thinking about Krishna in one or the other way. This is actually the position of pure devotee. Pure devotee is 100% Krishna conscious. There will be never a moment in his life when he forgets Krishna. He always thinks about Krishna. There are different ways of thinking about Krishna. Like chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is one way of thinking about Krishna. Right? Hearing about the instructions of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, just like all of us are doing now, this is another way of thinking about Krishna, another way of fixing our mind on Krishna. Worshipping the deity form of Krishna is another way of fixing our mind on Krishna. Hearing about the different leelas of Krishna, that is another way of fixing our mind on Krishna. Taking prasadam of Krishna, that is another way of thinking about Krishna. So in Krishna consciousness, whatever we are doing, it is one or the other way we are trying to fix our mind on Krishna, thinking about Krishna. But right now what we are doing is called sadhana bhakti. Sadhana means practicing. We are trying to practice. But here in this verse, Krishna is saying, he's talking about pure devotees who have always fixed their mind on Krishna. They are not practicing. They've already attained that spontaneous attachment for Krishna. That is called raganuga bhakti. So there are two stages in bhakti: sadhana bhakti, raganuga bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means it's a stage of practice. Why we have to practice? Because we don't have spontaneous attraction right now for Krishna. So we have to cultivate, we have to train our mind to think about Krishna. Therefore, the spiritual master tells us, why don't you chant this many rounds of Hare Krishna mantra every day? Like Prabhupada, who is a spiritual master, he is telling, chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra every day. That is a sadhana, it's a practice. By practicing this sadhana bhakti over a period of time, we will develop spontaneous attraction for Krishna. And that is the stage of raganuga bhakti. So when we come to that spontaneous stage, we will think, why only 16 rounds? Why not 16,000 rounds? That is the stage of spontaneous love for Krishna. Right? The gopis of Vrindavan had this spontaneous love for Krishna. Constantly they were thinking about Krishna. While churning butter, they were thinking about Krishna. While milking the cows, they were thinking about Krishna. While doing their household work, they were thinking about Krishna. Never for a moment they were forgetting Krishna. That is the highest stage. Right? So they are called the topmost devotees. So we can also reach that stage. Actually, the perfection of life is to come to that stage where we develop spontaneous attraction for Krishna. Right? So in the Vishnu Purana, there is an analogy given. A young man gets spontaneously attracted towards a young girl and vice versa. When a young boy sees a young girl, there's a spontaneous attraction. No one has to tell. He does not have to practice. Spontaneously, right? There is some kind of an attraction. So the Vishnu Purana says, there is a prayer offered by one devotee to the Lord. He says, my dear Lord, just like a young boy takes pleasure in spontaneously getting attracted to a young girl and vice versa, let me take pleasure in getting spontaneously attracted towards you. Right? That's an analogy used because analogies are given so that things become relatable to us. Right? To make us understand a difficult concept, example is given from our daily life so that we can easily relate to it. We have experienced this, we have seen others doing, perhaps sometimes we ourselves have experienced a young man getting attracted to the beauty of a young girl, or opposite also is true, right? There is no coaching given for that. It's not that you get trained. No, it is spontaneous. On its own it is coming, right? That is because of bodily conception of life. Because we think I am this body, and since I have a male body, to enjoy I need a company of a female body. This kind of a conception is there within us, and we have practiced contemplating on this for millions of lifetimes. Therefore it has become very natural for us to think like that. Oh, I am a young man, so I need the company of a young girl. Correct? It has become natural. So we can similarly reach a stage where we can think of Krishna like that. Krishna is my supreme master. He is my supreme Lord, supreme lover, and I am his eternal servant. And I have to naturally feel love for him. Right now it is not there. Right now it is not there. The other kind of attraction is natural for us right now. But Krishna is saying, just fix your mind upon me and engage your intelligence in me. What do you mean by engaging your intelligence in him? Intelligence refers to various talents that we have got. Somebody is good at singing, so sing for Krishna. Instead of singing material cinema songs, which will pull down our consciousness, sing for Krishna. Actually, all kinds of art initially was started to glorify Krishna only. All kinds of art, all kinds of talents are actually meant for glorifying Krishna. There is a verse like that in the Mahabharata. So, but right now, since we have forgotten Krishna, therefore we are using all those talents in material things. Material means where there is no Krishna. There is no Krishna in the picture, then it is called material, right? So, if somebody is good at painting, you can paint about Krishna. If somebody is good at speaking, speak about Krishna. Somebody is good at, he's a good interior designer, architect, build temple for Krishna. Use your talents. Like this, use all your abilities in Krishna's service. That is called engaging intelligence in Krishna. So Krishna is saying, if you do these two things, if you fix your mind on me and use your intelligence in me, for me, then you will live with me. Nivasishyasi mayyeva. That means 24/7 you will be with Krishna. Ata urdhvam na samshayaha. There is no doubt about it. That means a pure devotee, he uses his mind and intelligence always in Krishna. For him, Krishna is never lost. He is with Krishna only. Even though he is in the material world, even though he is having this material body, he is always with Krishna. He is seeing Krishna 24/7. That is the highest stage of bhakti. But that is not possible for us right now, to 24/7 think about Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is saying, alternate for us in the next shloka. Let us see that. Text 9. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknosi mayi sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, Dhananjaya, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will develop a desire to attain to me. So, if you are not able to become spontaneously attracted to me, no problem. Come to the next level of Bhakti is Sadhana Bhakti. That is called regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. Sadhana Bhakti means what? Rules and regulations. Accepting a bona fide guru who is 100% Krishna conscious and following his regulations. That is sadhana bhakti. So, Srila Prabhupada is a bona fide spiritual master. So, he says, you chant every day Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You take Krishna Prasadam. You read Bhagavad Gita. So, he has given certain things for us to do on a daily basis. So, even though naturally we do not have attraction for Krishna, by following these instructions of the spiritual master, over a period of time, we will develop a desire to attain to Krishna. That is called sadhana bhakti. That is the second stage. If that is not possible, do this. Now somebody may say, this is also not possible for me. Correct? Even this is also not possible. So then Krishna is saying something else in the 10th shloka. Let us see that. Abhyasepya samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. If you cannot practice the regulations of bhakti yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me you will come to the perfect stage. So if you cannot practice sadhana bhakti, then Krishna is saying, no problem, there is one way for you to come to the perfectional stage. What is that? You work for me. That means already there are some devotees who are serving Krishna. You invest some part of your time to help these devotees to serve Krishna. That is called working for Krishna. For example, book distribution. So Prabhupada said you have to print books and distribute to more and more people. Right? Now, there are already certain devotees who have taken up this mission of distributing Prabhupada's books. Temple is there, they are printing books, making the books available for people. All that you have to do is some part of your day, maybe 1 hour, half an hour every day. Can I go and try to convince people to take some books? That is the meaning of working for Krishna. First is what? 24/7 think about Krishna. That is not possible. At least follow the sadhana bhakti. For some time of the day you practice sadhana bhakti. That is also not possible. You work for Krishna. Right? Working for Krishna means assisting the Guru, assisting the spiritual master in spreading this Krishna conscious knowledge to more and more people. Right? That is working for Krishna. Now somebody says that is also not possible for me. So what is the next thing? Krishna says in the 11th shloka, Athaitadapya shaktosi kartum madyogamashritah sarvakarma phalatyagam tatha kuruyatatmavan. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. So if you are not able to do even volunteer service for some time, then what is the next thing? You are anyway working, you are doing some work for your maintenance, some part of that result you give it up. What is that? By your hard-earned money, you can serve Krishna. Support the devotional activities of the Krishna consciousness movement by your hard-earned money. Suppose you are earning X amount, give some part of it, maybe 1% of it, for spreading this Krishna conscious knowledge to more and more people. For example, every week we are organizing, Saturdays and Fridays we are organizing classes in the campus, right? Somebody can come forward. Yes, I will sponsor 5 plates of prasadam every week. It's a seva from my side. I am already earning. I'm getting some monthly, I'm getting some salary. So I will sponsor 5 plates of prasadam for 5 students every week. That is the meaning of giving up results of your work. Giving up. You give some portion of your results. That is charity, dana. Charity helps us to become selfless. It helps us to come to the stage of becoming free from selfishness. And especially the charity that is done to spread Krishna consciousness is of the highest order. Generally, people give charity. Some people who are very pious, they give charity. Maybe they do charity in some hospitals or something to poor people. They want to give some money, help. But the money that is used to spread Krishna consciousness is the highest charity, because it not only benefits on the material platform, it also benefits the soul. Suppose there are 2 scenarios where one, there is a poor person, you want to feed him food. So you are feeding food to him. That is one. You are giving food. Let's say another situation, you are not just feeding food, but you are giving prasadam. Now both apparently look the same. But in the first case, it will only satisfy the stomach of that person. But in the second case, not only is his hunger satisfied, he is also getting connected with Krishna by taking prasadam. You have become an instrument in helping that person connect with Krishna by taking Krishna prasadam. So therefore, this is considered to be higher than simply doing annadana, right? Feeding prasadam. So one should use his hard-earned money in serving Krishna. That is what Krishna is saying here. By doing this, we can become self-situated. We can become free from selfishness and come to the spiritual platform gradually. Text 12. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanad dhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phalatyagah tyagachantiranantaram. If you cannot take to this practice, suppose somebody says, I'm not earning only, I don't have any other thing, I can't give charity. So what happens to them? If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. Right? So, cultivation of knowledge, at least study the Bhagavad Gita, develop spiritual knowledge. Right? Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. So already Krishna has talked about meditation in the first verse, fixing mind on Krishna. So cultivating spiritual knowledge, better than that is meditation. So there is one incident described in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Krishna was in Vrindavan from his childhood, and he performed so many leelas there. And at some point of time, Krishna moves to Mathura, correct? And he settles down there. And from Mathura, he goes to Dwaraka. But all the residents of Vrindavan, especially the gopis of Vrindavan, who had actually given their life and soul for serving Krishna, they had become fully absorbed in Krishna. They were feeling intense separation from Krishna. Oh, Krishna has not come back. He said he'll come back, but he's not come back. So they are 24/7, they were thinking about Krishna. Fully absorbed in Krishna. That is meditation. That is samadhi. So they were thinking, oh, here Krishna used to come on the banks of Yamuna and he used to play his flute. Oh, here Krishna used to graze the cows. Oh, here Krishna did that. Oh, Krishna did this. Krishna. So 24/7, always they were fixed. They were Krishna conscious. Okay. So Krishna, who was in Mathura at that time, he was also feeling separation from the residents of Vrindavan. So he called his cousin brother, who was also a great devotee. His name was Uddhava. He said, Uddhava, you please carry my message to the residents of Vrindavan. They must all be feeling very anxious in my absence. This message will console them. You please go and deliver my message to them. So Uddhava goes on behalf of Krishna from Mathura to Vrindavan to meet all the residents of Vrindavan. So he meets Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, and then he also meets the Gopas, the cowherd boys who are all friends of Krishna. He also meets the Gopis headed by Srimati Radharani, who are all very dear to Krishna. So he delivers message of Krishna to all of them. And what is that message? Especially when he speaks to the Gopis. So Krishna, the Uddhava says, Uddhava was a very learned person. Very learned, very knowledgeable person. He was the direct disciple of Brihaspati. Brihaspati, very knowledgeable. He is the spiritual master of the Devatas. So he had learnt everything from Vedas, everything from Brihaspati. So very learned. Actually, why did Krishna send Uddhava to Vrindavan? Actually, it was a reason. Uddhava was very learned person. Krishna wanted Uddhava to know that knowledge is not the highest. If one can learn to love Krishna like the Gopis of Vrindavan, that is highest. So even though Uddhava was very learned, advanced in knowledge, Krishna wanted him to learn something more than what he had learned from Brihaspati. What is that? To love Krishna unconditionally. Unconditionally. Even though Krishna had left them and gone away, the Gopis did not stop loving Krishna. That is called unconditional love. When somebody is always with you, it is easy to love that person. But when that person is not with you, if you are still thinking about that person 24/7, that is real love. That is real love. So the Gopis, they are demonstrating the real love, pure love. Krishna is not physically there with them, but they are always taking pleasure thinking about Krishna, his qualities and his activities. That is the highest love. So, sending Uddhava to deliver his message was only a external reason, but actual reason why Krishna sent Uddhava was so that Uddhava can study what is pure love that was practiced by the residents of Vrindavan. That is the idea. That's why here it is said, better than knowledge is meditation. Simply gaining knowledge is not sufficient. All your knowledge has to culminate in developing in meditating on Krishna, in fixing our mind on Krishna. In the 15th chapter, Krishna himself says, Vedaischa sarvaihi ahameva vedyam. The purpose of studying all the Vedas is to know Krishna, to love Krishna, to be able to fix our mind on Krishna always. So otherwise, all knowledge is of no use. Vasudevam param jnanam. The purpose of all the knowledge is to love Vasudeva, to love Krishna. That is the idea. So, one has to be able to love Krishna, fix his mind on Krishna. So, these are the different levels of practicing Bhakti Yoga. Now, the last set of shlokas, Krishna talks about the different qualities which a devotee has, which attracts Krishna. See, what is the meaning of the word Krishna? Sarvam karshati iti Krishna. Karshana means to attract. One who attracts everybody and everything towards himself. He is called Krishna. Krishna means the all attractive. But there is something which attracts even Krishna, and that is bhakti. There is only one thing that can attract Krishna. Krishna attracts everybody, but there is one thing which even Krishna gets drawn towards, and that is bhakti. That means just imagine the position of a pure devotee who has developed pure love for Krishna. His position is very, very high because Krishna gets attracted to such a pure devotee. Krishna is called Atma Rama. Atma Rama means self-satisfied. Krishna has nothing to desire. Like we all have desire. Oh, I should go to McDonald's and eat this. Or you may have a desire, I have to go and visit this place. I have to go to Wonderla and some water sports. So we have so many desires. And many times our desires are not fulfilled as per our wish. Correct? Correct, no? But Krishna is not like that. Krishna, whatever he desires, it will surely happen because that is the position of Krishna. There is nothing which is unachievable for Krishna. Therefore, he is Atma Rama. He is fully satisfied always. And another understanding of this Atma Rama is he does not depend on anybody external to him to fulfill his desire. Suppose if I have desire to eat samosa, I have to go to that place where samosa is cooked. I have to depend on that person who is preparing samosa. Or I have to go and procure all the raw materials, ingredients. So I have to depend on somebody else to get those ingredients and then cook. If I know, I'll cook myself, or if I don't know, I have to depend on somebody to cook. That means fulfillment of my desires is dependent on others and external objects. So I am not Atma Rama. We are not Atma Ramas. Correct, no? But Krishna is Atma Rama. He doesn't depend on anybody external to achieve his purpose. One example is given in the scriptures. Many examples are there. One of the examples, Upanishad says, the Supreme Lord desired, let there be creation. And he just glanced upon the material elements and the creation started. That's all. He doesn't have to go work, put all the things together, take somebody else or bring somebody else. No. Just by his desire, it can happen. Another example is given. Lord Vishnu wanted to start the process of creation. Right? So, he just desired that let there be Brahma born. And from his navel, a lotus came up and Brahma was created. Right? So, Srila Prabhupada explains that this Lord Brahma was created by Lord Vishnu without taking the help of Mother Lakshmi. Lakshmi Devi was just there near his feet, massaging his feet. But he didn't depend on Lakshmi. He said, let there be Brahma, and from him Brahma came. This is Atma Rama. He is self-satisfied. Correct? In the material world, if somebody wants a child, the man and the woman have to depend on each other and they have to beget a child. But that's not the case with Krishna. You see? That itself shows that how Krishna does not have any of those limitations that we have currently in the material world. So, Krishna is Atma Rama, but he also gets attracted towards his pure devotees' wonderful qualities. Now, Krishna towards the end of this chapter is giving a big list of qualities which are present in his devotees, which Krishna gets drawn towards, which Krishna gets attracted towards. In other words, Krishna is saying two things here. If you become my devotee, you will develop all these wonderful qualities. Right? Number two, he is saying that if you want to please me, then you should develop these good qualities. If you want to become attracted, if you want me to get attracted to you, then you develop these qualities. One of the Acharyas, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the guru of Srila Prabhupada, he would always say, don't be thinking how to see Krishna. You do something which will make Krishna come and see you. That is perfection. We are always thinking, show me Krishna, show me God, where is God? No. Instead of that, you do that which makes Krishna attracted to you, and he will come and see you. And what is that Krishna is attracted towards? Pure bhakti. Right? Already in the 11th chapter, Krishna has told that. Only by pure bhakti you can understand me. Right? So, let us see what are the good. So, that means when we do pure bhakti, these good qualities will be manifest in our personality. Let us read this. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukha sukha kshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dhrudha nishchayaha mayyarpita mano buddhihi yo mad bhaktas same priyaha. So in the series, in these series of verses, towards the end, this keeps repeating. Mad bhaktas same priyaha. Alright? Me priyaha, very dear to me, Krishna is saying. What are the qualities? First one is adveshta sarva bhutanam. Right? Dvesha means envy. Being envious of others. Adveshta means not being envious of anybody. Adveshta sarva bhutanam. To be not envious but a kind friend to all living entities. So the first quality that Krishna likes in his devotees is when you are not envious of anybody. When you treat everybody as your friend. Whether that person has done good to you or whether he has done bad to you. If you are seeing him as a friend, that quality Krishna likes very much. Right? Now, see, all these qualities you can develop only when you awaken bhakti. On the material platform, it is not possible for you to love your enemy. Is it possible? Right? You consider somebody as your friend if he has done something good according to your estimation. If someone has foiled your plans or somebody has done something wrong to you in your understanding, then you start hating that person, right? You start considering him to be your enemy. But actually, this is a material platform. We think this is good, that is bad. If somebody is doing like this to me, then it is good. He is a friend. If somebody is going against my plans, then he is bad. He is my enemy. We think like that. But on what basis you are thinking what is good and what is bad? That basis itself is wrong. The basis is what? I am this body. I am this body, and all the plans that I have made to enjoy my bodily senses. If somebody is cooperating with those plans, then he is my friend. Okay. Now, if I made my plans to enjoy my senses and somebody is disrupting those plans, then he is my enemy. That means it's material, no? It's material. Correct? But a pure devotee will not think like this. For example, Prahlad Maharaj. In fact, Hiranyakashipu, his father, had appointed some soldiers to kill Prahlad. Even when the soldiers were trying to harm him, Prahlad did not curse them. Prahlad did not consider them to be his enemies. No, he was not. Right? Because he was always thinking, Krishna will protect me. These people are only executing the orders of my father. They are not at fault. This very important understanding. If you have this one understanding, it can create a big impact in our lives. Generally, when somebody brings miseries to our life, we start hating that person. but there is an alternate spiritual perspective. This person is only a delivery man. Whatever I am supposed to suffer, he is just delivering it. Why should I make him my enemy? He is not my enemy. Whatever karma I have done in my past, I have to enjoy or suffer the results of my karma. This person is only an instrument in the hands of laws of karma to deliver what I deserve. If we have this mature understanding, you will never consider anybody to be your enemy. Right? So when you consider somebody to be your enemy, you know what you're doing? You are actually harboring negative thoughts about him in your heart. That means you have reserved some space in your heart to cultivate some negative thoughts about him, to plot against him, to feel envious, jealous about him, isn't it? To think how to foil his plans. So that means you have rented out some space in your heart for that person, you have reserved that person. Like this, we have rented out many spaces for so many people whom we have considered as our friends or our enemies especially. That means so much our heart is filled with envy, jealousy, all these things. If this is the case, how can we fix our mind on Krishna in this situation? Just like in Bangalore city, it is very hard to find a space. All the spaces, they have made sites and they have sold it off, BDA sites. So our heart also is like that. We have sold out, rented out. We have made sites, divided so many sites in our heart space, rented to so many people. This enemy is living in this first site, another site, another. So where is no place for Krishna? That's why there is no place for Krishna. That's why we are not able to think of Krishna spontaneously, because our hearts, our mind and heart is rented out to so many people like this. That is why first thing that Krishna is saying is Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. My devotee should never consider anybody to be his enemy. And my devotee who never considers anybody to be his enemy is very dear to me. Right? Second, Maitraha. Maitraha is already there. We have discussed. Friendly. Considering everybody to be friend. How can you consider everybody to be friend? Because everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. I love Krishna, therefore I should love his parts and parcels also. Very simple. Right? So real universal brotherhood is possible only when you become devotee. It's like Krishna is the Supreme Father. Everybody are his sons. Therefore everybody is my brothers and sister. So in a family, there is one father, everybody, all his sons are brothers and sisters. Correct, no? So this is universal brotherhood. Maitraha. Then Karuna. Karuna means compassion, kind, being kind. We should be kind to everybody. Why we should be kind to everybody? Because everybody is fighting their own battles. You never know. Correct, no? When you meet somebody, you should speak a few words of kindness, because we don't know what battles they are fighting in their life. They may appear to be very normal to you. Just by seeing, you cannot know. But actually everybody is going through a lot of problems in this world. Is there anyone in this world who is not suffering from any problem? Is there anyone? Nobody. Everybody, as long as we are living in the material world, one or the other problems are bothering us. So a devotee of the Lord becomes very kind and compassionate towards others. And out of this compassion, he shares the message of Bhagavad Gita with them. Real compassion is this. Everybody is suffering in this world because they have got disconnected from Krishna. That is the root cause of all problems, miseries. Root cause of all miseries is we have forgotten Krishna. Prabhupada gives an analogy. Suppose there is a rich man, he has a son. And at a very young age, the son got separated from the rich man. Now the son is living on the streets. Correct? He is suffering so much. He is hardly, even to eat one meal a day, he is suffering. He is begging. He is suffering so much. But actually he is the son of a rich man. But because he has got separated from the rich father, now on the streets he is suffering. Some movies you might have seen like that. Old movies were like that. Now if somebody goes and tells that boy, hey boy, what are you doing? You know, you are the son of such and such a rich man, crorepati. Immediately you connect that person to the rich man. In a few moments, all his problems are solved. Correct, no? He was on the roads. Now he will be in palace next moment. The situation of everybody in this material world is like that boy who got separated from his rich father at a very young age and therefore suffering on the streets. That is our position. Everybody's position is like that. Now a devotee sees this. A devotee is paradukha dukhi. Others are in dukkha, miseries. He is suffering so much because he has got disconnected from the Supreme Father Krishna. Now let me do something to connect him back to Krishna. The next moment you are very happy. You can be happy only when you become Krishna's devotee. Otherwise everybody is anatha. Anatha means what? No father, no mother, nobody is there. So in that way this material world is anathashram. Right? But devotees who are sanatha, devotee is not anatha, devotee is sanatha. Sanatha means he has master, he has a father, Krishna. So he tries to make everybody as sanatha. Why we should go out and distribute books, Bhagavad Gita and other? Because everybody is suffering. They are thinking I am anatha. No, you are sanatha. You are actually son of such a great Lord. Why you have to worry? So we have to share this message with them. Out of karuna, out of mercy. So that is karuna. And then nirmamaha. Mama means mine. Proprietorship. This belongs to me, this is mine, that is mine. But actually nothing belongs to you. Nirmamaha. One who is free from false proprietorship. We should become free from false proprietorship. A devotee understands that nothing belongs to me. Everything belongs to Krishna. Correct? So there is one nice story. Once, King Akbar was sitting in his court, darbar. All his ministers and everybody was there and he was talking something. Very serious matter he was discussing. And all of a sudden, one person came. He was a traveler, or he was like just moving, wandering. So he entered into the king's palace, and right in front of the king's palace, he slept in front of him. So all the ministers, soldiers, and they were all surprised, taken aback. What is this? Even if a fly has to come inside this Jahanpana Akbar's court, they have to take his permission. It's not easy. Why is this fellow? He's coming, and not only he has come, he is very casually lying down in the palace in front of the king. So they all went to ask him they went to attack him and all. So Akbar stopped and said, "What are you? Don't let us ask him. Who is this person? Who are you?" So Akbar said, "Who are you? Why have you come here? Why are you lying down here?" So he said, "I am a musafir." Musafir means traveler. I am a traveler. And I have come to this Musafir Khana. Musafir Khana means a hotel. When you're traveling, for resting that night, you go to one hotel and stay, right? And then continue your journey in the next day. So he said, "I have come to this Musafir Khana." So then Akbar said, "No, this is not a hotel. This is my palace." He said, "No, this is actually a hotel. In the hotel, what happens? Travelers stop by for some time, take some rest, have some food, and then continue their journey. See, Akbar, before you, your father was sitting on this throne. He was ruling. He was thinking, this is my house, my palace. Now where is he? He's not there. Before that, his father was sitting. He was also thinking that I am emperor, Jahanpana, and he is also no more there now. And after some years, you will also not be there. Therefore, I am saying this is a Musafir Khana. This is just a hotel. People come and go. Everybody, as long as they are living in this world, they are thinking it is mine, my property. But it is gone. They have to leave everything and go. So therefore, I have come to this Musafir Khana and I am just taking rest. Like you all people. I will also go after some time. So there was a big realization that Akbar got from this. The story. So we should also get this understanding. Nothing belongs to me. Before I came, this world was existing. Somebody was the owner of all my possessions. Now I am the owner, so-called possessor. After some time, when I die, somebody else will take possession of it. So I am not the owner of anything. It is all temporary. So this understanding is called nirmamaha. Mama means mine. Nirmama means nothing is mine. So we see, these are all, each word we can talk about it at length. So much knowledge is, so much understanding is there. So we have to develop these qualities. And we can become nirmama only when we realize that Krishna is the real master. Krishna is the owner. Krishna already tells that in the 10th chapter, 8th shloka. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha mattaha sarvam pravartate. Krishna says, everything has come from me only. This we have to always be conscious. A person who is always conscious that nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to Krishna, he is called devotee. The moment we think it is mine, I will plan according to my own plan, I will enjoy it, then that is called Maya, illusion. But every moment a devotee sees, anything he sees, he wants to use it in Krishna's service. That is called nirmama. Nirmama doesn't mean simply rejecting. Oh, this is not mine, that is not mine, that is not. No. It is only partial renunciation. Real renunciation, real vairagya means not only to realize nothing belongs to me, not only to realize that this object doesn't belong to me, it also means, second part of it is more important. Oh, it belongs to Krishna, therefore it should be used in Krishna's service. That is complete renunciation. Okay, so nirmama. Nirahankaraha, becoming free from aham. I am great, I am powerful, I am a scholar, I am rich. So becoming free from that I, right? I am actually part and parcel of Krishna. This is the real. So aham means I. Mama means mine. So to give up these conceptions of I and mine, that is very dear to Krishna when you do that. So false ego, it is called. Becoming free from false ego is nirahankaraha. Samadukha sukha kshami. Samadukha sukha. You should be same, samaha, in both sukha and dukkha. Sukha means happiness, dukkha means distress. Generally we are not same, no? When happiness comes, we dance, we jump, right? When distress comes, we become so depressed, correct? But with spiritual knowledge, both happiness and distress are temporary. Whatever happiness and distress I am experiencing, it is only at the bodily level and mind level. But I am neither the body nor the mind. I am soul. When we realize this, then we can become samadukha sukha. Body and mind are getting affected by sukha and dukkha. But I am even above the body and mind. I am soul. And I have got direct relationship with Krishna. I have to take pleasure in developing that relationship. Then this sukha and dukkha of the body and mind will not affect us. So that means, you see, all these qualities we can develop only when we become Krishna conscious perfectly. Right? And then kshami. Kshami means we should be forgiving. Everybody makes mistakes. To err is human. So we should not make a big issue out of others' mistakes. Generally what happens, when we make a mistake, we expect our world should forgive us. But when others make a mistake, we blow it up and show to the whole world how this person is wrong. Right? We are the best lawyers when it comes to defending our own mistakes. When it comes to judging others' problems, others' mistakes, we are the best judges. Right? But Krishna is saying you should be kshami. Kshama. We should forgive. You can forgive others when you know that everybody has weakness. And the root cause of that weakness is, again, disconnected from Krishna. Right? So, therefore, real kshama is to enlighten the other person in Krishna consciousness, to give the spiritual knowledge to them. Then santushtaha. Santushta means to be satisfied. In every circumstance, I should be satisfied. Example for this is Sudama. Sudama was a childhood friend of Krishna, but because of poverty, his family members suffered so much. But even in that poverty-stricken condition, Sudama was very satisfied. Santushtaha. He was very satisfied. He had no complaints. Every day he was taking pleasure in praying to Krishna, chanting his holy names. He was not complaining to Krishna, what is this Krishna, I am your friend, why have you kept us in this poverty-stricken condition? No. He was saying, so nice, Krishna has kept us so nicely. So this is possible only when we develop the understanding that Krishna is taking care of me and he knows best what to give me when, and he knows how to take care of me. I should not have any doubt about Krishna's taking care of me. Then I am santushtaha. Yadrucha labha santushto. Another verse Krishna says. The same word santushta comes. So whatever comes by Krishna's arrangements, I should be satisfied with it. The whole world is suffering because people are not satisfied. They want more and more and more and more. Isn't it? So mind is saying, now you have a two-wheeler. If you have a four-wheeler, then you will be happy. Now you are having one small 1 BHK house. If you have a multi-storied building, you can be very happy. Right? So, but actually, tell me, who is that person who has become satisfied after chasing his greed? Is there anybody? Nobody. The famous story about Alexander. Alexander conquered so many countries he had annexed. But towards the end of his life, he told his soldiers, see, when you're carrying my dead body, you just make sure that both my hands should be outside. People should be able to see my empty hands. Why? Because people should see Alexander the Great, who had conquered so many lands and so much riches, he's going empty-handed. In his final journey, he's going empty-handed. So you can't take even 1 paisa with you. So what is the use of running behind temporary power, temporary possessions? So one should be satisfied. Satisfaction is the quality of an advanced person. Simple living, high thinking should be the goal of life, not the other way. Living in high-rise buildings but no thinking, that is of useless. So santushta means one should understand goal of life is not to increase my possessions. Goal of life is to increase my degree of thinking. Correct? So in the Vedic understanding, the Brahmanas who are always trying to accumulate knowledge, they would actually accept something called Daridrya Vrata. Right? Voluntarily they would actually embrace poverty. Because, if I become attached to these riches and comforts, then I will no more be interested in gaining knowledge. That's why the Brahmanas would actually take this Daridrya Vrata, lead a simple life. In fact, even Chanakya Pandit, the Prime Minister of Chandragupta Maurya, who helped him establish his kingdom. Chandragupta Maurya's kingdom was almost towards the entire India was under him almost. But his prime minister Chanakya, when he was offered by Chandragupta Maurya to live in a nice palace, he said, no, I am not interested. I want to live in a hut. So Chanakya lived in a hut, even though he was the prime minister of the biggest empire. So this is called being santushta. santushtaha.
But Prabhu, I always have a confusion in that boundaries. Uh, for example, you told he's a prime minister of that empire, but he need that level security also for the nation, right? That is living a normal person living normally, and that level person living normal can have a. I mean, he has a influence of.
Yeah, I understand. So that time during Chanakya Pandit's time, it was situations were not worse like today. Today's politicians need a security because they have done such works. They're always they feel threatened. Correct. Actually, a real leader should not feel threatened. A real leader is one who is accepted by the people, not simply because he's sitting in a position. Right? He has won people's hearts. That is a real leader. Then he doesn't need any security. Right? Yes. Come. So anyway, in today's situation, if you ask, is security required? I may say, yeah, maybe required for certain reasons. But actually, real security is Krishna's protection. Real security is Krishna's protection. A devotee who has attained that stage where Krishna is always protecting me, he will not bank on security. Isn't it? Satatam yogi, he is always engaged in devotional service. Mayarpita manobuddhihi, who has always engaged his mind and intelligence in Krishna's service. Yomat bhaktas same priya. These are the good qualities of a devotee which Krishna likes. Right? Next sloka, Krishna says, he for whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anxiety, who is steady in happiness and distress, is very dear to me. So one who doesn't put anybody else into difficulty, right? And who is not disturbed by anxiety. Generally, why do we become anxious? Because we want to control results in our life. We want to control. The more we want to control things, we become anxious. Because controlling is not our original position. You are trying to imitate God by being controller. Of course, you can control small things. I can control maybe some I can operate this phone. I can say I'm controller of this phone. Right? I can control small things in life, certain things in my life. But the problem is we don't understand what is our boundary. We want to control everything. The more you want to control others in your life, the more you want to control things which are actually not within your purview, the result is anxiety. So therefore, a devotee is not disturbed by anxiety because he has no false understanding that I can control everything. So such a person is very dear to Krishna. And then a devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and who does not strive for some result, is very dear to me. Generally, everybody in this world strive for result. If I achieve this, I'll be happy. If I achieve that, I'll be happy. But a devotee is not striving for external results. A devotee wants to work hard to achieve inner purification, to achieve attraction for Krishna. That is real goal. So devotee is also very busy, but his being busy is not for external results. Correct? And then one who neither grasps pleasure nor grief, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, is very dear to me. Right? So lamentation and desiring, everybody goes through this in the material world. We desire something, when we don't get it, or after getting, when we lose it, we lament. Right? Everybody goes through the cycle of desiring and lamenting. Say for example, I wanted the latest iPhone, let's say. So I work very hard to accumulate money. So I have a desire to fulfill. Oh, I want iPhone, iPhone, iPhone. So I work very hard to get that iPhone. And let's say I got the iPhone. And let's say I lost it. Then I am fully depressed. Correct, no? In fact, the amount of depression that a person goes through upon losing his phone is directly proportional to the cost of that phone. The greater the material value of that phone you lose, the greater will be your depression. Correct? So therefore, we should not place undue attachment towards external things, because external things anyway will be lost. Correct? So that is the meaning of not lamenting and nor desiring. So don't use your desiring capacity to desire something which will anyway you will lose one day. Then you will be depressed. If all my life I only desire sense enjoyment and I work very hard for it, when I become old, I become very depressed. You meet any old people, ask them, are you happy in life? They'll say no. They say, I have so many plans, I could not do this. They'll have so many complaints against people around them. Why? Because they have not actually discovered spiritual fulfillment in life. All through their life, they're only thinking that body pleasure is the real pleasure. Now when they became old, body is also not supporting. But still they have desires to enjoy bodily pleasures, but body is not supporting. So they become very depressed. But a person who has cultivated spiritual understanding, old age is not an obstacle for his spiritual pleasure. In fact, with old age, he becomes more mature and he enjoys more. You know, if you draw a graph of material pleasure and spiritual pleasure with time, with age, so material pleasure decreases with age. Correct? Because your body becomes weak, senses become weak, you're not able to enjoy. But spiritual happiness increases with old age, with age. Because spiritual happiness is not dependent on body's age. Correct? So therefore, use your desiring ability not to desire temporary material pleasure of the body, real pleasure of the soul. Real pleasure of the soul means you can achieve that by connecting with Krishna more and more. As age increases, your connection with Krishna becomes more and more intense, with more and more sadhana, with more and more practice, especially of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the more you chant, the more your connection with Krishna intensifies. So you will not lament when you achieve old age. You will not feel sorry. You will feel very nice. Oh, now, when I was young, I was so much under the influence of kama, lust. Now old age has come as a benediction. Those desires also have subsided. Now I can focus more on Krishna. So a devotee, for him doesn't matter whether he's old or young. Prabhupada was 70 years old when he traveled to the West to preach Krishna consciousness. But he was so energetic. The youngsters could not match his energy. That is... So, when you actually become spiritually advanced, you can transcend the bodily limitations. Right? Then 18th and 19th shloka. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contamination, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and engaged in devotional service is very dear to me. So being equal in dualities, heat, cold, honor, dishonor. Somebody will respect you, somebody will not respect you. So what will happen? Our behavior, we get mentally so much affected. When somebody respects, we feel so happy. Somebody is not respecting, then you become unhappy. That means you are on the mental platform. When we have come to the spiritual platform, it doesn't matter whether somebody is respecting or somebody doesn't respect. You don't expect. If respect is coming, you offer it to Krishna. If respect is not coming, you think, this is how Krishna wanted me. This is Krishna's arrangement. So a devotee is not at all affected whether he gets respect or not respect. Right? And then he's silent, here it is said. Mauni. So what do you mean by silence? Does it mean we should not talk? No. Silence means not to talk nonsense. So devotee doesn't talk nonsense. Devotee can talk for hours together, but whatever he talks, repeats Krishna's words. Right? So the example is given about, in the rainy season, frogs start croaking. What does it do by croaking? It thinks, oh, it is nice rain is coming, we will enjoy. But in the process, it is only attracting death. Snake just comes and captures, finish. So unnecessary talks is compared to croaking of the frogs and attracting death. We have to use our speaking ability to talk about Krishna, to chant Krishna's holy names. Otherwise, death is just waiting for us in the next door. Anytime it can knock. Therefore, we should not misuse our power of speech. So, to be Mauni means not to speak nonsense. Right? And so fixed in knowledge and engaged in devotional service. And lastly, he says, he who follows this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engages himself with faith, making me the supreme goal, is very, very dear to me. So, final conclusion of this chapter is, one who follows Bhakti Yoga with faith, one who makes Krishna as the supreme goal of his life, such a person is very, very dear to Krishna. So that is the conclusion. So bhakti, becoming a devotee, means to make Krishna as our goal of life. Sense enjoyment is not the goal of life. Getting name and fame, getting respect is not the goal of life. Making our life so-called materially comfortable is not the goal of life. Achieving big name, fame is not the goal of life. Goal of life is to make Krishna as the goal of our life. Right? If you make Krishna as the goal of our life, then we become dear to Krishna. So that is the message of this chapter. Any questions? Please distribute beads. Yeah, any questions?
I have few questions.
Yeah, please.
Maybe my questions would sound very naive because I have missed the classes and not knowing the basic things. But still I want to ask them. So, first question is, you said we should not seek for seeing Krishna. We should try to do something so that Krishna see this. So how we say it is said that Krishna is in every form, in everywhere, in everything. Anything is not hidden from. So obviously everything is seen by Krishna. Then why this sentence? We should try to do something so that Krishna sees this.
Krishna is definitely witnessing all our activities. There is no doubt about it. But what is that he gets attracted to? He gets attracted to your bhakti. All activities he is seeing. But is he attracted to all your activities? The answer is no. He is attracted only to your bhakti. That bhakti, if we develop, then Krishna will come and see you with eagerness, and that is the perfection of your life. Does it answer your question?
Yes, sir.
What is the next question?
So you said we should try to do bhakti yoga. If that not possible, do meditation or otherwise.
No. This entire thing is bhakti yoga only. In bhakti yoga, different levels.
Okay, sir. If not doing meditation, try to do charity for Krishna consciousness, like distributing food to a hunger people, and it's better to distribute prasad instead of food, just food. So suppose that hunger people is uh, he is not a Hindu and does not believe in Krishna, and still I want to convince him as this as Prasad, but he does not believe. So what should I do?
You don't have to convince him. You give like food only. But you give prasadam, you don't have to tell it is prasadam. Correct?
Yes,
You give food only. For him, it is food only.
yes,
But you cook that food with love and devotion, offer it to Krishna, and then give it as prasadam to him. He will be benefited. It is like medicine. The patient does not have to know what exactly is there in the pill, in the tablet. If he takes the tablet will act. So prasadam is like that. Prasadam is very powerful. So he may think it as an ordinary food and eat. No, doesn't matter.
but I should try to serve it as Prasad.
You give prasadam, yes.
So, so next question is sometimes as you mentioned when like people from Vrindavan gopis were like every time thinking about Krishna, and that's why Krishna sent
Uddhava.
Uddhava to with the message to them. One of the reason behind this was Krishna thought gopis will be in
Uddhava should study.
conscious. Yeah, that was also the reason. And what was the reason you said that they may be anxious because they are always
Thinking about Krishna, and Krishna is away.
and sir, this is true. When someone I am loving, my parents, when they are very thinking about me, about me, then I get disturbed. Why they worry so much about me,
Yes.
and so uh, does Krishna uh, uh, will not disturb if I am continuously thinking about the Lord only.
No. If you are always thinking about Krishna, Krishna will also think about you.
Yes.
It is a reciprocation.
But in a real world, it not follows. I think if someone is very much thinking about me, I also love that person. Then I get disturbed. Why he's
No,
so much caring
no.
about me.
If you are thinking about somebody so much, that person may not even be conscious that you are thinking about that person. Because he is a limited person. How can he know? But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is present in your heart. If you think about him with love and devotion, he immediately gets to know. And he takes note of you. He makes note of you. And he blesses you. Therefore, we should think about Krishna. Right? Any other question?
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Prabhu, you told we should not hate.
Anybody?
Yeah, but I don't want to intentionally tell this situation. When you see situations happened in Bangladesh recently,
Yeah.
how can we not hate? That implicitly comes even we don't want to. That disturbs so much in the mind, and somehow hatred comes.
Yeah. So, by hating, are you going to help them anyway?
Nothing. But how can we think by seeing that kind of situation?
So, we should think. This is the influence of Kali Yuga. How people are becoming so godless, and real devotees are harassed. Right? So, the only solution for this is, we should actually we should make more people Krishna conscious. Correct? If, let's say, the government, if more people are Krishna conscious, they can influence positively the government. Correct? Another thing also that we have to understand is, in the material world, there are divine personalities, there are demoniac personalities. Both kinds of personalities always exist. And there is clash between both, always. It is not new. We should not think the Bangladesh incident is something new to this world. This is always the case. Always the demoniac people will create obstacles for people who are on the divine platform. Deva and Asura. Always there is clash between the two. And whenever there is a clash between Devatas and Asuras, the Lord always takes the side of the Devatas and destroys the Asuras. It is the history. Ramayana, Mahabharata, all. That is what has happened, no? So therefore, that is the nature of this world. Clash between the two. And this should also become a lesson for us. This world is not a place for us to settle down. Right? So I have to get out of this place. This is a very nasty place. Material world is not a place suitable for a gentleman to live. Right? These are all indications. These are all indications. This material world is Dukkhalayam. Krishna has already mentioned that. Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. Correct? It's a temporary place full of miseries. So I should not make plans and schemes on how to settle down in this material world. Miseries in the material world are constant reminders for us that don't settle in this material world. It's not a place for you to stay. So the devotees who are being harassed, so they are protected by the Lord. You may say, how they are protected? They are harassed, they are killed. Our definition of protection is what? Oh, no, nothing, no harm should happen. No bodily harm should happen. But Krishna always has his own ways of protecting. Correct? That we can never understand. One who is a true devotee, he will always feel Krishna is protecting me. Right? But of course, from a material point of view, we should definitely condemn this act. Right? We should not always say only philosophical aspect, oh, they are protected by Krishna. That is a truth. They are protected by Krishna. How Krishna is protecting, that is left up to Krishna. Because sometimes Krishna makes his devotees go through misery so that the devotee becomes quickly freed from his past karma and quickly goes back to spiritual world. That is Krishna's way of protecting his devotees. By seeing from a material point of view, we can never understand this. Right? So that is Krishna's way of purifying his devotees quickly and taking them back. But from a day-to-day transactional point of view, definitely we should condemn this. Right? We should definitely condemn. And the only solution is to make more people devotees. Make more people Krishna conscious. Then the world would at least be a better place in one sense.
But for reacting, that emotion will only drive us, right? Like
correct. Emotion, like Hanuman used his emotion to burn the entire Lanka. So you can use your anger against those who are against the Lord and Krishna, Lord and his devotees. Correct? So in your capacity, Hanuman is Hanuman. He was able to burn the entire Lanka. We may not be able to go and burn the Bangladesh. So we can do something in our own capacity, no? Simply emotions will not help. That emotions can be channelized. How? You write more. You know to write you write vlogs, you write about blogs, you write condemning this act. You talk to people condemning this act. In your capacity, what you can do, you should do. Don't let your emotions just be there. You streamline it, channelize it. The best way is to use those emotions and make more people devotees, make them distribute Prabhupada books, make them Krishna conscious. And also use that emotions to make a firm resolution that whatever I do, this material world is not it's a nasty place. Let me do something to get out of this place. Become more serious in your spiritual life. Put that emotions to right usage. Any other question?
So, you were talking about form of God, about you also talked about Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that best way of worshipping is to worship in the form. You are talking not like Nirakar. So what form exactly we should see?
We should meditate on, Patanjali Yoga Sutra says we should meditate on the Chaturbhuja Narayana form. Or even Krishna's form. This is authorized form. Not your own, you cannot imagine your own form of God. The form of God is
in the form of like this picture or...
Yeah. If that picture is made according to the descriptions given in the scripture, then it is authorized form. We should not imagine our own form.
Like many time in I have heard Nirakar, God is have no form.
Yeah, God, when the Vedas say God is Nirakara, it means God has no material form. God has no material form. Nirakara means no material form. But that does not mean he does not have spiritual form. God has got spiritual form. He has no material form like yours and mine currently. So wherever the Upanishads, Nirakara is told about God in so many places. He says, it is said, Achakshuhu, he has no eyes. So what does it mean? He has no material eyes. Eyes which have material limitations. God does not have. But he has spiritual eyes. Akarnaha, he has no ears, it is said. That means he has no ears which have material limitations. But he has got spiritual ears which have no limitations. That is our understanding. Okay. You have some question? Okay. So now let us chant. All of you will be thinking when this class will end. Already you would have thought so many times. I know it is not easy to sit like this for a long time, no?
Initially I thought, just going in the mid, then I thought, okay, why I should take, anyway I'm listening good thing, Krishna's Bhagavad Gita, so we'll strain our body, nothing will lose, right? Then it became normalized.
Okay. Actually everything is dependent on your mind's determination. If you make up your mind, nothing is impossible. We are anyway doing so much tapasya. Tapasya means what? We are undergoing so many difficulties, no? Like, for example, you are staying in Whitefield. Coming from Whitefield till here or traveling, it's not easy. So you are anyway traveling. So much difficulties we are anyway taking. So why not take it for Krishna, for spiritual advancement? That is the principle. As long as I have this material body, as long as I am in this material world, I have to go through one or the other problems and miseries. Now let me intelligently choose which challenge I want to take, which difficulty I want to take. Yeah, sitting like this for a long time, even my knee is paining. For a long time sitting like this is difficult, right? But can I little bit stretch for spiritual advancement? Otherwise, anyway, you have to go through that problem. In some or the other way, it will come. Now, can I use it in this way? That is intelligence. Okay, that doesn't mean that you have to sit. If you're feeling difficult, you can stand and chant also, no problem. Or you can walk and chant. So let us chant now. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we can chant at our own pace. Just make sure that when you're chanting, you hear each word of the mantra attentively. And when your mind goes there and here, bring the mind back on the sound. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.